Thanks everyone for stopping by and welcome to today's webinar, 5 Tips to Keep ISAs Performing and Engaged with MAPS Coach Anna Krueger. Please note this meeting is being recorded and will be available within 24 hours on the MAPS YouTube channel. We will share the link in the chat momentarily. Currently, everyone's on mute. However, we do value your participation, so we ask that if you have any questions for Anna, please type them into the chat box. Following the meeting, if you have any questions about today's call or our other coaching programs, please email us at fasttrack@kw.com. And that's all for me, Anna. Take it away.
All right. Well, welcome everyone. Good to see you guys here. And I have a favor to ask you. It looks like the majority of you have your cameras turned off, which, as you can imagine, it's a little more exciting to coach when I can actually see faces. So, Laura, and how do I say your name? Is it Verena? I don't think that was right, judging by the look on your face.
Verena. It's the B is pronounced as an F. It's Swiss.
That's so pretty. I like it. Thank you for letting me see your face. So yeah, if you can hop on, that would be wonderful. And if there's something awkward going on, just leave the camera off. That's fine too. But I'm excited to be here with you guys today. And I know a lot of you are going to be watching this recording. So if you have questions after today, feel free to email me. And you can just hit reply to the replay as it comes through your email. But today we're going to be talking about 5 tips to keep your ISA engaged. So in case we are not sure what is an ISA, real quick, that stands for Inside Sales Agent. So this is the person you've hired for your team, and their full-time job is to do lead generation, lead conversion. Basically 6 out of 8 hours a day, they're working on bringing in business, which sounds wonderful to have, right? To have someone fully focused on that for your team. Real quick, before we jump too far in, let me introduce myself. I think most of you, I recognize you, but for those of you who we may not have met yet, my name is Anna Krueger and I'm a MAPS coach, and I've been coaching inside sales or have been an inside sales agent myself since 2006. So I've learned a lot about what works, what doesn't work. I've been a virtual ISA, I've been a local ISA, so I really have had a lot of experience really in all different roles. And so my goal today is to help you have success faster, learn from some of the things I messed up, learn from some of the things we learned works really well. So that way you can not only find talent, everybody asks me, how do I find an ISA? Hardly anyone ever asks me, how do I keep an ISA? Can we all just agree you can find one, but if you don't actually keep them, all that work was pointless to find them. So today is really focused on how do you keep them and keep them happy on your team. So first of all, why does this matter? Well, if you've read the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, how many of you have read this? You can tell me in the chat box because I can't see a lot of you. But this book is really a guide for how to have a successful real estate company. And what Gary Keller teaches us is that lead generation, lead conversion is the lifeblood, which, let's be honest, even if you haven't read this book, can we all just agree that if we're not having lead generation, lead conversion happen, we don't have a business? And that's any business for that matter. You could have an Etsy business where you're selling bracelets, and if you're not generating leads and converting them, you don't have a business. So we all understand that this is a vitally important role, and we want to find this person and then keep them around. So what I did is I pulled a Facebook group that I have that has almost 6,000 inside sales agents within it. And I posted a poll and I just said, what are the number one things, like what are the top things for you that make you say, I never want to leave my team? I love my team. I love my leader. I'm not going anywhere. No plans to go. And I compiled the top 5 answers, and that's what I'm bringing to you today. By the way, if you're curious what that group is and you've never been there, it's on Facebook. It's just called ISA Mastermind Group. I just put that in the chat box. You're welcome to join it. Just make sure you answer the questions. So I'll let you in. I don't let you in if you don't answer the questions. All right, so how do you keep a talented inside sales agent on your team? So the number one answer, actually, let's start with number 5. Let's start with number 5 and we'll work our way to number 1. So the 5th most common answer that I heard was that they want the agents to be trained. If you think about it, when you have a talented inside sales agent, this person's going to be queuing up appointments for you. So put yourself in that position. And I know some of you here are the inside sales agent, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yet you have worked to cultivate a lead. Maybe you've been working with this person 3 months, 6 months, even just a day. It doesn't really matter. It takes skill to turn them into an appointment, right? And when you finally turn them into an appointment and hand them over, you really want to know that the person you're handing it over to is trustworthy. So we do see ISAs leave teams because they say the agents on my team aren't taking them seriously. They're not practicing. They're not preparing for the appointment. So the opposite of that, make sure you're prepared. Make sure you're prepared. You should be preparing for these with the same level as if you are the one that generated the lead. And if not, even more. And the reason I say that is you have someone else's income riding. If you're an agent, you are responsible for someone else's income at this point. And whether or not you get that lead to sign with you, to hire you, is going to have a direct impact on the performance and the income of the ISA who gave you that lead. That makes sense, right? So I hear a lot of agents say, on the flip side, I want the ISA to be trustworthy. If I'm handing over my calendar and saying, put people in my calendar, I want to make sure they're not just putting anybody in there. I want them to be good leads. And so you can see how there needs to be a mutual trust. You definitely need to have a mutual trust. Yeah, I wanted to share with you that the 5th most common answer on that survey was, the thing that makes me love my team, that makes me say I'll never stay, is the agents are trustworthy. They're trained. And what I can tell you on the team I came from, that was true. I knew if I set an appointment for Annalisa and she came back to me and said, I didn't get it, it was not in my head, oh, Annalisa, come on, get it together. Why did you not prepare? This person was prepared. Annalisa on her own took a negotiation skill class outside of the world of real estate. I thought that was super cool. And so it made me know, if I give something to Annalisa, she invested her own time and money to take a negotiation skills class outside of real estate on her own. This is not someone that's going to treat these appointments flippantly, right? And so that's one really important thing we're looking for talented ISAs to stay on your team. So that's number 5. We're going to work to number 1. So number 5, agents are trained to close out the deal. The 4th most common answer I saw, again, this was a survey of almost 6,000 inside sales agents. The 4th most common answer I heard was, one reason I love my team is they communicate what happened after the appointment. So if you think about it, when you hire a talented inside sales agent, you are going to be hiring someone who should be very results oriented. Today's webinar is not about what are you looking for in the hire. We've done webinars on that before. But just briefly, you are looking for someone who's results oriented because you're really hiring a rainmaker for your team. That's really actually what you're hiring, is a rainmaker for your team. Well, if they're results oriented, and let me just ask all of you, if you are results oriented, how long will you stay on a team if you don't get feedback on the appointments you set? So you cultivate a lead 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, hand it over, and then you just never hear anything. How long would you stay in that environment? And if you are a results-oriented person, you're probably thinking to yourself, not that long, right? I think a lot of us would agree with that. So the 4th most common answer was, they gave me feedback on what happened in my appointment. Now, there's a lot of systems around that in the class, Mastering Inside Sales, as well as the class, and this next one starts September 1st. We have a class on how to hire, train, and retain ISAs, where we go way more in depth than what I'm doing now. We talk through what are the systems to communicate that appointment feedback. But for today, just know it's really important that you provide that feedback. All right, the 3rd most common answer. So number 5 was agents are trained. Number 4 is you're communicating with me what happened after I gave you an appointment. The 3rd most common answer I heard, and to be honest, I thought this was going to be number 1. So I was surprised at what was number 1, number 2 were. This is the one I expected to be the most common. But the 3rd most common answer I heard was, they treat my position with respect. And I will just tell you, in that Facebook group I have that has almost 6,000 inside sales agents in there, I get all kinds of private messages. And I think it's because I'm the safe person, right? They don't know me really, actually. I'm the face on the screen. And it's so funny. People don't even say hello. They don't even say, hey, thanks for your time. They just message me and they're like, I'm thinking about leaving my team and here's why I'm mad. And the number one thing I hear in those messages are they don't treat me with respect. They treat me like this is entry level. Well, that makes zero sense, because when we read, again, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, or even if you just know anything about business, we all know that lead generation, lead conversion is the lifeblood to everything else. Now, every position is important, but if we don't have lead gen, lead conversion, we don't have any other positions, right? We don't have operations without lead gen, lead conversion. We don't need transaction coordinators. We don't need marketing. We don't need agents for that matter. If someone on the team, whether it be an agent or an inside sales agent, if someone is not doing lead gen, lead conversion, the whole operation is going to shut down. And so why would we hire someone for that position and then talk about it as if it was less than? How many of you have heard that out and about, where you hear it kind of like it's the entry level position, and then the goal would be to promote into an agent role? That is the thinking we want to change. That is not the right thinking about this position. Now, the good thing is I hear a lot of people say, oh, no, on our team, it's considered just as much as any other position. It's considered actually a position people want to have because it has a bit more of a schedule. The cool thing about inside sales is you can be in real estate. You can really make however much money you want to make. But you usually have a more traditional work schedule. You're not writing a contract, Sunday afternoon at 2:00. As an inside sales agent, I'll just level with you. You could not pay me enough to be an agent. You couldn't pay me enough to be an agent. And in just a moment, we'll open it up to questions. I think I'm seeing a couple of you kind of going for it. We're going to open it up for questions here in just a second, and then you can hit them with me. Okay. But just know there are people that say you could never pay me enough to do anything else in real estate other than inside sales. I love it. I've actually also coached rainmakers when I was a one-on-one coach with MAPS, and several of them said, I don't really say this a lot, but I want you to know my actual goal for my business is I'm the inside sales agent. I want to stay in real estate, but I don't want to go on any appointments. I don't want to work weekends or nights. I just want to lead gen, lead convert. I love it. And so it is a position that even rainmakers I've seen, that's their goal, to get into that position. So have I made it clear? Don't treat it entry level. Treat it with respect, just like any other position on the team. We want someone to want to stay in this role, because the longer they're in it, the better they're going to be. And we want really good people in this position. All right. So number 5, the agents are trained. Number 4, you communicate what happened on the appointment. Number 3, you treat the position with respect. The second most common answer I heard when surveying 6,000 inside sales agents was they want to know how to hit their income goal. So and I just saw Anna, who is an inside sales agent, her eyes just got big and she went like this. Inside sales agents, and I would actually say any position on your team that is a commission, even if it's not only commission, but any position that has commission involved, that's hard to say. Any position that has commission involved, they want a path for how to achieve their goal. What a lot of people tell me, and you've probably experienced this yourself, is I don't know how to achieve what I want. I'm just going to show up and do my best. And it feels like pie in the sky to actually hit the income goal. And what they want is a leader to break it down. So let me give you an example. If I'm coaching you and collectively you as the group are an inside sales agent, I would share with you that usually within 6 months, your skill is where we need it to be. That's kind of up to you. But your skill is going to be where we need it to be. You're going to have a pipeline because you've been in the position for a while. And about the 6-month mark, it's very normal for you to be at the level that 75 contacts would earn you 1 closing. And by the way, this is true. 75 contacts on average will earn you a closing once you have a pipeline and once you've been in this position and you have the skill down. That's up to you though for the skill, right? Well, how many closings do you need to achieve your commission goal? And at that point, it's just math, right? So if I get, and I'm just going to do easy math today, but if I get $1,000 a closing as an inside sales agent. That's my average commission when I do all the math. My average is 1,000. And I want to make 75,000 through commissions. Well, that tells me that I need to have 75 times that. Basically, you just do the math, right? I need 75 closings. And if I need 75 closings and 75 contacts earns me a closing, it's just 75 times 75. That's how many people I need to talk to this year. Okay. You know, if I want to make 100,000 through commissions and I make $1,000 a closing, it's 75 times 100. That's 7,500 contacts this year. Mathematically, that should earn me $100,000 in commission. Make sense, everyone? Now, I'm giving you a general example, what your inside sales agent's going to want. And I'm just going to say it. Your agents want this also. If you are an agent on this call, you're probably thinking, I want to know this for myself. It's important that you customize this. So, you know, if I'm coaching Anna and she's 6 months into the position, we're going to look at her actual numbers. And maybe for Anna, it's 68 contacts earned her a closing, or maybe it's 83 contacts earned her a closing. And we're going to customize this based on what her actual numbers are. Okay. So that's the number 2 answer I got is I don't want to just be told work hard. I want to be told how to actually achieve my goal so that my work means something to me. And that makes so much sense. And then, are you ready for the number 1 answer I heard? And this was not the one I was expecting, but when I surveyed over almost 6,000 inside sales agents, the number 1 answer that I heard out of all of them was, I want my leader to know what my personal goal is. I don't want them to talk to me about the team goal all the time. While it's important, that doesn't mean something to me as an individual. So what I mean by this is, let's say that you've hired an inside sales agent and their goal is to get married this year, go on a honeymoon, and buy a house. They have a big year. They have a really big year. And they did the math and figured out, you know, for me to buy a house, get married, go on the honeymoon, do all the things we want to do, I really need to pull in no less than $105,000 this year. That's my income goal. Which, by the way, it's important that you hire someone who's hungry, because if you hire someone that doesn't really need to make a lot of money, we usually fall into performance issues. We've seen this time and time again, year after year, teams that I've coached with MAPS, it's a common challenge. If you hire someone who can survive off of the base pay, or they don't want to make a high number, usually you have performance issues. So let's say that, you know, your ISA wants to have $105,000 this year. That's the goal that you talk to them about. You don't go to them and say, well, let me back up. It's okay to talk to them about the team goal, but that's a small fraction compared to talking to them about their personal goal. So if I'm coaching Lauren, and I know Lauren wants to make $105,000 this year, I might say, hey, Lauren, remember, for the team goal, we need a minimum of 4 closings a month from your position. And for your goal of 105 to get married, go on the honeymoon, put the down payment on the house, we actually are looking for 8 closings a month, because that's going to help you hit your goal. So let's talk about 8 closings. And then we would strategize, you know, 8 closings times 75 contacts. How many contacts are we going to get this month? Are you tracking with me? So a lot of people, and I hear this from agents as well, there's almost like this bitterness that starts to form if you only talk to them about the team goal, because they don't feel like their leader cares about their goal. And they want a leader that cares about them as an individual and what their goal is, which requires that you ask. And you don't just say, how much money you want to make this year? Okay, cool. It's how much money do you want to make this year and why? And have you thought through all your bills and things like that? So in the class Mastering Inside Sales, we actually spend 1 entire week, which is an hour-long class, helping them figure out their financial goal. And we go over things like, what are your bills? How much money do you spend on Christmas presents? How much money do you spend on your dog every year running to the vet? You know, things like that. And on top of all that stuff, what's the fun stuff you want to do this year? What debt do you want to pay off? And what kind of trips do you want to go on? And we spend 1 whole hour just on helping them figure out their financial goals in the class Mastering Inside Sales. So we come alongside and help you, But just know as the leader, you need to know what their personal income goal is. All right. We also talk about that in the class, how to hire, train, and retain ISAs, which is the class that starts in 2 weeks. Actually, it's September 1st, which, can you believe September 1st is 2 weeks away? I think that's crazy. So let me recap this for you, and then I'm going to give you a bonus number 6, and then I'll open it up to questions. All right. So again, top 5 answers from over 6,000 ISAs that I surveyed were this. Number 1, they want to know that you know what their personal goal is and that you care about it, and you talk to them about that more than the team goal. Number 2, you show them how to earn it. So you know their goal, then you show them how to earn it. They have a strategy that they can achieve it. Number 3, you treat the position with respect. Number 4, you tell them what happens in appointments that they set for you. And then number 5, the agents are trained, meaning if I set an appointment for an agent, I know that they're going to be fine. They're not going to just show up and throw it together. And then number 6, this is a bonus one, and you all will like this one. Make it fun. Make it fun. So you want to have a team that has fun together. And so what I recommend is that you have contests, or you could have competitions with your team. From a culture perspective, and we talk about this in the How to Hire, Train, and Retain class as well, but you don't necessarily, especially when they're new on the team, don't pit agents and ISAs against each other in teams. Mix it up. So if you have a competition and you have 4 ISAs and 8 agents, just evenly divide it up, where you have, 4 agents and 2 ISAs on one team, 4 agents and 2 ISAs on the other team. And this way, it's building camaraderie between the positions. You want to be intentional to make it that ISAs and agents are all on the same team, because they really are. They're really just part 1, part 2, same team. And so we want to make sure that they have a good relationship, and that we're building that within our culture. So that's the bonus number 6, is make sure that you have fun. And when you do these things, you are very likely to retain a talented ISA. Very likely. The important thing is to be consistent. Don't just talk to them about their goal the first day you hire them. Talk to them about their goal every time you meet with them. Every time they set an appointment. That's amazing, Jordan. You just got one closing closer to that amazing wedding you're preparing for, or whatever it might be. And that's going to keep them pretty motivated. So all of this you can learn, plus significantly more, in the class, How to Hire, Train, and Retain ISAs. Rodrigo, I think you're going to put the link there in the chat box for that class. But that starts September 1st. It's 5 weeks long. They're all recorded. And a little tip is, we already have last time we did the class. Those are all recorded in the portal. So say that you are hiring someone next week and you're like, I don't want to wait till September for this class. I'm hiring right now. When you sign up, you'll get access to the 5 recordings from the last time we ran the class. So basically you have on demand today, and then you can still join us live for the classes starting in September. And in that class, it's exactly what it sounds like. We talk about, what are you looking for when you hire them? What does the job ad look like? How do you pay them? Are they local? Are they virtual? Are they licensed? Are they unlicensed? Then we go through, how do you keep them on the team, in way more detail than what we just covered in 20 minutes. And then the very last class of that class, so the 5th week, is just Q&A. So anything that you want to know that I did not cover, it's just whatever you want to ask me about leading ISAs can be in that 5th week. So that way, by the time you're done, you got 4 weeks of planned content, and then just anything else you needed related to ISAs. Sound good? Okay. Oh, Anna, thank you for typing that in. It's super nice. I love teaching. It's so much fun. Okay, so what questions do you have? I might have answered it, but I know in halfway through, some of you were, I have a question. So go ahead. You can unmute yourself and go ahead and speak up.
So what really rang true with me when you started talking about it being an entry-level position, and the way we've actually looked at it on my team, we're trying to recruit the agents that don't want to go on appointments anymore. They have the experience, but they want to go to a more set schedule, have a base pay, and that. How do I find those people?
How do you find those people? So if you're specifically looking for agents that are maybe looking to get out of appointments and really do lead gen lead conversion, I would look for people in your market that have a good track record, and you might think, I wonder if they're getting tired of the rat race of real estate. You know, some people love it. They can't imagine doing anything else. Others say, I love it, but I need a better schedule. My kids, you know, where they are in school or whatever. So I would look for people like that, or maybe co-op agents that you partner with. And you can also find people that aren't in real estate now, but they would be really good in this position. Maybe they've run a call center before. College recruiters, military recruiters, and headhunters are all great candidates for the inside sales position, because they're used to having highly emotional conversations that take several months to cultivate. So if I'm a college recruiter, I'm probably talking to people for months. If I'm a military recruiter or a headhunter, those are all positions where we talk to people about major life decisions over a long period of time. So they also could be really good in this position. You will need to train them into real estate, but that, if you find the right person, that's not that hard to do. Really good question. I think people are starting to catch on, honestly, to the inside sales. When I got into it in real estate, so inside sales is very normal in other industries. But when I got into real estate in 2014, people were like, huh? What is an inside sales agent? And I get it, because we never really had, it was like a new concept in the world of real estate, right? You have buyer agents, you have listing agents, and then you have your operations team. What's an inside sales agent? Now it's really cool. We go to conferences and there's breakout sessions for ISAs, and it's got 12, the last one we did had 1,200 people in the room. That was not the case in 2014. There wasn't even anything for ISAs at these conferences. So it's catching on. And what's really cool is it's like it caught on, then it was talked about as if it was entry level. And now we're starting to see, kind of like what you said, of, oh, this is the first domino in the rest of the business. And hear me, it's not more important, because we need operations. I can't imagine surviving without a talented operations person on the team, right? I cannot imagine it. Yet inside sales is the domino that gets knocked over that makes all of the other positions happen. And that's why we need this position, and we need it to run smoothly, because we want to keep our operations, but we can't do that if we don't have money. And inside sales, we're responsible for the money. Really good. What other questions do you guys have? And the link, by the way, for the class is there in the chat box. And we do also, if you have an inside sales agent, or you yourself are an agent and you're like, I just got to get better at my skill, I need to be better talking to people, mastering inside sales, you can still enroll. We're 3 weeks in out of 18. You can still take that class. And I'll put a website in the chat box where you can find out about both. Okay, what other questions do you guys have? Anything else? Who will be at Mega Camp? Oh, Anna, I was hoping you would raise your hand. Lauren, I think I saw your hand. I don't know if anybody else. Let me make 2 announcements for you. This is the weirdest time ever, and I am telling it to you correctly. I'm not misspeaking here, okay? At 11:34 on Tuesday, yes, 11:34, in the amphitheater, which is really close to the exhibit hall, right next to the Keller Williams University booth. There's an amphitheater there, and they're doing something really cool this year. They're calling it Red Talks, which is like a TED Talk, but it's Red Talks because we're Keller Williams. And there's going to be a 10-minute Red Talk about inside sales agents at 11:34 on Tuesday until 11:44, because that makes so much sense. So be there. I would love to meet you. I would love to meet you. So come listen for 10 minutes, and then come give me a hug, or I'll shake your hand, or just wave at you, depending on what you're comfortable with. But I would love to meet you at that event. Okay. Any other questions? Okay.
Okay, if nobody else is there, I have one more.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm new to the industry, so I used to be in hospitality for 40 years.
Awesome.
Do you see more commission, just dollar amounts, or percentages?
Percentages. So commission, it would be a percentage, yeah. If it's a set dollar amount, we're usually now talking about bonuses.
Okay.
And commission would be the percentage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in the class, by the way, we spend quite a bit of time talking about how should you pay this person and what are the options. What's the impact on how, because legally there's certain ways you can pay them if they're licensed. And if they're unlicensed, there's different ways. I mean, there's a lot of legal stuff involved in how you set up your ISA department. And so we go really deep into all that in that class, how to hire, train, and retain ISAs. Cool. Now, I know quite a few of you are going to watch this when you get it in your email for a replay. So you registered, but you couldn't be here live. So if you have questions, just hit reply to the email and I'm happy to help. And then come see us at 11:34 on Tuesday, Red Talks. I'm curious if they'll be ahead of schedule and be at 11:33. I guess we will just find out when we're there. So it should be interesting. All right. Well, I will see you hopefully in Texas. Those of you that will be there. If not there, I'll see you in a class hopefully soon. So September 1st, how to hire, train, and retain ISAs. Or you could hop into Mastering Inside Sales and I'll see you there. All right. Bye, guys. Have a great rest of your day.